Welcome to the Rite Publishing video blog. My name is Steve Russell. I'm the head of Rite Publishing, and we're here today to talk about two things. The first and foremost is that the Demolished Ones Fate Kickstarter project has hit goal. It has actually exceeded goal by $40. We've actually posted what our new tier is to get to the next one, but I won't talk about that here because right now what I want to talk about is the fact that we met goal, we've exceeded goal. I'm extremely happy with its performance. We still have 39 days left to go to allow for backers to continue to support the project, and I feel really good about the potential outcome of this. Second part that we're going to talk about is 101 new skill uses. I am exceedingly happy with its performance, both in sales and with customer response and even staff response. There's just a lot of really good stuff in this book. There's one good thing about being a publisher that's a benefit, is sometimes you can put off a project until you're ready to do it. And in this case, I had thought about this idea maybe 6 months ago when I was thinking about, right as we were getting toward the end of the 101 spell series. The question is, what was I going to do at the end of it? Unfortunately, at that point, my mom passed away, and I just emotionally wasn't ready to handle it. So I wrote a book that I had pretty much had written already, which was 101 monster feats. I'd been using them in my homebrew for a really long time, so it didn't take a lot of effort on my part to write it, and it was a good way to work through everything that happened. But regardless, moving on to that, put it off until I was ready to write it, and now that I've learned so much from writing the skill uses. People were asking me about, required ranks and, how do you make all these skill uses not all of a sudden become very munchkinny very quickly? Because with skills, anybody can use them. There's no limitation on class with here. There was a few prerequisites on a few of the skills, like some required trap finding as a special ability. Some required a specific number of ranks in it before you could make the attempt. But really, I think the ultimate thing that sets this book apart is nearly every skill use has a penalty for failure. If you miss the roll, miss the target DC by 5 or more, something goes wrong. Like same way that something goes wrong if you're trying to disable a device on a trap and you miss the skill check by 5 or more, it goes off, blows up in your face. You set off the trap. There's a lot of skill uses like this where one of the big ones in combat was a dismounting charge. Like you literally ride up on your horse and throw yourself over the saddle and over the horse's head and slam into the top of your opponent. That was great. I felt that was a great idea, but it's not enough for a feat. It's too singular for you to do that. That's a ride skill. That's a fast dismount, with a charge, and it's fun to do. It's just one of those unique things that you can do. And so one of the big things with that idea was, well, what happens if you fail? Well, you fall on your butt is what you do. You completely miss your attack roll. You fall prone in wherever you were going to land. And you probably provoke an attack of opportunity because, you look pretty silly and you screwed it completely up. And so the guy hits you. So there's a lot of stuff like that in there to balance that out. So, yes, everyone can make the attempt, but not everybody's skilled enough to pull it off. And pull it. And even those guys who are skilled enough to pull it off, everybody can have a bad day. It only takes, that one. I rolled the 1, and my ranks just aren't enough, and I just miss it by 5. Because the second part of that is a lot of these have variable DCs. Now, these aren't based on what your bonus is. I didn't want to pull a 40 and make everything scale according to what challenge rating you are. It has to do with who you're trying to pull the skill against. If you're a 20th level character and you're trying to pull the skill use on a first level character, boy, it's going to be easy. But if you're trying to pull it on a 20th level fighter, or you're trying to pull it on the big Billy Bad Dragon, who's CR 27, while you're you know, the end boss fight of everything, you know, it's going to be a lot more difficult to pull it off against him than it is against the first level guy. So again, using the I think the best one I've seen for it in the original is Intimidate, where it's 10 plus the hit dice of your target plus his wisdom modifier, and your bonus is usually going to be 10 plus your, you know, skill ranks. If it's a class skill, you get an additional +3, and then your modifier. So, you know, you have a pretty decent chance of pulling it off. You know, it's not that hard to pull it off, but, you know, it could be really difficult really quickly. So, and that's only with a set DC. If you're talking, and a lot of these are also opposed rolls, so they get that bonus +3 too. So a lot of it becomes very quickly evening out to where you start off with a 55% chance if the guy's the same hit dice as you. And, you know, I know not you, but a lot of the monsters I fight in or run against my opponents, I never fight them, my players fight against them, tend to be slightly higher hit dice than the PCs, unless you're running a lot of them. And, you know, you run a lot of goblins, and that's okay. That works. They're supposed to do really, really well against the small opponents. You know, it's that singular opponent who's, you know, 2, 3, 7 challenge ratings above them, you know, that really this stuff isn't going to work as well on, and there you have a real chance of failure. And that's the risk you're looking for. That's really what I tried to create. And hopefully that will work out for everybody. It worked out in our playing, and it worked out in Pathfinder's playtest, because this is nothing new. This is just something that already exists being applied to each and every one. And there's just a lot of fun stuff in there. Like I said, I've gotten a really big amount of feedback from some designers that I really respect, and their input on this has been tremendous and just a lot of fun. One of the next things I want to talk about, again, we were talking a little bit about, is what's up next. So I started working on, you know, 101 Renegade Class Feats. And when I talk Renegade classes, I'm talking about classes that are not designed by Paizo, that are third-party Pathfinder compatible licensed products. Everything from my Luckbringer to the Assassin that's seen in the Freeport Pathfinder version of the Freeport Companion, to the Time Thief from Super Genius Games, to some of the, we're looking for other ones. That's been the real struggle, is, you know, who do we find? But there's a an urban mage that appears in the player's guide to the Great City. I know I'm thinking of the class name wrong, but I'll think of it here in a minute. But it was designed by Adam Daigle, and he does a really good job with that one. And there's a lot of classes out there like that. You know, Super Genius Games has a huge amount of them. I have maybe 5. And I'm going to probably do a minimum of 5 per class. And then when I get through all of those before, then I'll go back and look and see, you know, which ones inspired me, which ones, you know, need some more love, just because they're that cool. You know, like, I have a love affair with the Time Thief. You're probably going to see 10 for the Time Thief. I have a love affair, you know, with the Luckbringer and the Task Shaper, because, you know, I designed them based off of the design for the Time Thief. So, you know, you might see some love there, but, you know, that's the benefit of being the designer and being the guy in charge, is sometimes you can do that. But, you know, I set my parameters before I go that at least every one that we choose is going to have at least 5. So each one will get some love. And that's going to be a real weird and interesting book to see how it does. You know, it's really out there, the idea that I can do this for a lot of different classes that don't have core support. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that design does in a month from now. We'll talk about that in a month from now, I guess. So again, done really, really happy with the Fate Kickstarter project, the Demolished Ones hitting goal. Really, really happy with the performance of 101 new skill uses. It's just a fun book to do, and it's really great to see it doing so well, and it's great to see everybody purchasing it. So I hope you'll go check it out if you haven't as of yet. You know, take a look at the flash preview, download the preview, full-sized preview, and I look forward to what you think of 101 Renegade classes and which classes you want me to see. Thank you so much.